Hey everybody. One of the people that I had the pleasure of meeting at Comic-Con San Diego was a man named Tony Todd. Tony Todd was a famous actor known for Candyman, but known by people that I met and talked to, first of all, as being a nice guy. He was a fixture at Comic-Con. Everyone said, "You've got to meet Tony Todd. You'll love Tony Todd." And they're absolutely right. I had the pleasure of meeting Tony Todd. Well, unfortunately, again, he passed away at 69 years old. This is the account presented by People magazine. It's very sad. Um, and the same week that Quincy Jones passed away, another great of entertainment passed on, and that is Tony Todd. Another genre, another area, but both African American men who had major impacts on our culture in different ways. No question about it. That was certainly true for Tony Todd, yet he was also accessible. Um, when I met him, he wasn't bigger than you, he wasn't smarter than you, he wasn't richer than you. He was just Tony Todd, and he was playful. Um, he was a man who you came away feeling better about being a human being. Okay, seriously, he was that cool, and it makes you wonder when you see something like this happen. Why was he? Why was his life taken at 69? Right? Why so young? Um, and what was going on that would cause it at 69? And yeah, sometimes you don't want to dwell on that. Maybe there's things you don't need to know. Maybe there's things you don't want to know. But uh, you can't help but wonder because like I'm 62 and I'm thinking, well, the truth is, people that pass at different ages for different reasons. The important thing to do is to simply celebrate what they've done to make your life better and you happier and me as well. And that's the best way that I can put it. Uh, that basically keeps you sane, right? Uh, yeah, just keeps you sane. So um, it uh, uh, is something else. His amazing set of contributions. I'm going to read the People magazine account. As I'm talking to you about this, I'm posting it on social media. It's also being auto posted. I just want it out there. Uh, and I'm trying to avoid just wanting to bawl and cry and all that. Because, again, if you ever had the pleasure of meeting this man, your first thought would be, boy, he's a nice person with so full of life. Okay, who just he's energetic and he makes you feel like you're the only person in the room when he looks at you. I mean, look at that stare. Okay, that is a genuine stare. All right, that man is focused on you. He is happy to meet you. Uh, he just is, and I'm talking about the photograph that I put on the thumbnail that makes up the thumbnail of this, right? Uh, he is that guy. Tony Todd is that fellow. Um, it reads here: Tony Todd, the prolific actor who starred in genre hits like Candyman and Final Destination, died on Wednesday. Excuse me, Wednesday, November 6th, at his home in Marina Del Rey, California. He was 69 years old. Todd's rep confirmed his death to People magazine. The cause of death was not immediately available. The actor starred in over 100 movies and television shows and was a reliable presence in genre fare. His horror credits include the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead, The Crow, and the Final Destination movies, in which he played William Bloodworth. That's Tony Todd with um, Virginia Madsen in Candyman from 1992. And then it reads Todd also scared audiences with his performances as a title character in 1992 Candyman. After playing the role in 1995 and 1999 sequels, he returned to the 2021 franchise reboot, directed by Nia DaCosta and written by Jordan Peele. Virginia Madsen, who starred alongside Todd in the original Candyman, shared an emotional tribute to the actor on Instagram. My beloved, may you rest in power, sweet to the sweet in heaven, she wrote. The great actor Tony Todd has left us and now is an angel, as he was in life. Very true. More later, but I can't right now. I love you. The Washington, D.C. native made his film debut in 1986, appearing in Sleepwalk and Oliver Stone's Oscar winning classic Vietnam War movie Platoon. In the war film, he played the heroin addict Sergeant Warren. When it came to television, Todd worked in almost every genre. He had a recurring role in Star Trek The Next Generation as the Klingon Kerr. On Star Trek Deep Space Nine, he gave a memorable turn in the episode The Visitor as an adult version of Benjamin Sisko's son. Todd was born December 4th, 1954. In a 2021 interview with The Guardian, he credited his aunt Clara Elston for putting him on the pathway to being an actor. He moved to Hanford, Connecticut, where Elston worked as a maid. She would bring me to some of her places, and I would stay at the library while she cleaned the house, Todd said. I loved books at an early age, so I was. Although he later reconciled with his mother, Todd told The Guardian that his turbulent childhood drove his career. That all fuels me as an actor, he said, because it's part of my DNA, part of my pain, my pleasure, my intellectual zone, my comfort, and he said. Todd continued to work and has several projects in post production. Yeah, in his as he was passing, sadly, uh, movies Werewolf Game and The Witching Hour. Um, in 2022, when Todd was promoting his South by Southwest movie Pitch Ass, Deadline asked him what makes the ultimate horror movie villain. He said, "You got to have audience sympathy for the character in some way or another," he replied. "There's got to be something attractive about the character that makes people want to root for them, but at the same time be repulsed by the idea. And for me personally, for every film that I do, I create a backstory for all my tortured people and my heroes alike. He is survived by his two children, Alex and Ariana, per Variety. And again, I had the pleasure of meeting Tony Todd, 2011 Comic Con. I was gifted the pleasure of interviewing the cast from a movie called Sushi Girl, a movie that you probably never heard of because it actually, I don't think it ever got released until much later. I have to find it now. What happened with Sushi Girl was a little more complicated, but rather than spin that story, I'll just stick with the fun stuff. The time that I had the pleasure of meeting these great stars, Tony Todd, Jeff Fahey, Mark Hamill, yeah, Luke Skywalker is in it, and see here is there. All right, that's Tony Todd. Now let me go back here. I'm gonna go back and rewind that a bit so you can see it. It's 14 minutes long, but you know what? I'm gonna let it play. It's worth watching, and here it is. I'm gonna diminish my view here so you can see it full screen right now. Okay, here it is. Huh? So you heard that, folks. You Mark Hamill said about Tony Todd that if there's any justice in the world, this will make Tony Todd the superstar that he is. And I'm wondering if Twitter even found out about Todd's passing. Let me check real quick before we close out here. Very sad, and like I said, I'm honored to have met Tony Todd, have interviewed him, have been able to present that to you. You would say, why did I, let that run out the way that I did? Because I didn't want to. I didn't want to not show the whole scene and do an injustice to all these great stars. And I'm certain Tony Todd, if he saw me doing this, would say, "Hey man, include Jeff. Hey man, include Mark. You got some great stuff here." And that's what I did. So let me see if I can see Mark Hamill here. Hamill, Mark Hamill, there he is. And let's see here. Let's see. November 6th, November 5th. I don't see any tweets from Mark here. This is what I'm looking at right now, folks. If I can just switch over from one screen to the next. But I think what I'll do is I'll tag Mark Hamill and see if I can myself obtain some type of comment from him about what happened. And it makes me want to look up Sushi Girl all over again and watch it, because I never actually had a chance to fully watch it. What happened was that it actually didn't get released when it was supposed to get released. It had a production issue, it had a financing issue, it had some issues. And I actually ran into a guy at Comic-Con who was telling me about them. But it was one of the most fun red carpets I've ever done. I had my friend Christine with me. I think her and Mark Hamill really hit it off. It was a lot of fun. Tony Todd was, like I said, you saw him. Tony Todd was all what I say Tony Todd is. Enough said, right? So I don't see any comment or tribute. I think it's really focused on the election, understandably, because if you take a look at Mark's banner here, it reads right here, Harris Malls. And unfortunately, we didn't win. But hey, get them again. Keep fighting and keep working, because there are people on both sides who will the stout want to get tied up with that. I want to leave this to be about Tony Todd, and I want to make sure the tributes are out there appropriately about a great man. Okay. And for example, here's a tweet. It reads, I had some of the best conversations with Tony Todd. The man was kind, thoughtful, and joyous in everything he did, from chatting with a no-name writer like myself or a vlogger like me. I add, to playing roles, passing breaks my heart. Godspeed, sir. Hear, hear. Fangoria says, everyone at Fango is heartbroken to learn of the passing of the great Tony Todd. Gone too soon. Rest well, sir. Tony Todd has sadly passed away at the age of 69. And here's another one. Candyman 1992, Tony Todd was covered in real bees. He only agreed to shoot this scene if they paid him $1,000 per bee sting. He earned $23,000 or 23 bee stings. Jeez Louise. Tony Todd, literally the voice of a generation. So iconic, so intense, he elevated every movie role he was in. He was also a pure delight to follow on Twitter, always sharing recipes and music. Oof, we just lost an absolute titan of genre movies. This one hurts. Rest in peace, Tony Todd. So I see you soon. And so most people remember Tony Todd for his iconic performance as Candyman, and rightfully so, but always have an extra special place in my heart for his part as Grange in The Crow, 1994. My biggest comfort film. He was no doubt one of my favorite characters. And not Tony Todd, rest in peace, legend. He gave me the spooks in Final Destination and Candyman. Fantastic man he was. And heard about that one. And very sad to hear the news. The great actor and very talented Tony Todd has passed away. A true horror legend. I had the opportunity to hang out with him in the film Murder Set Pieces. This was after an all-night shoot at the Talk of the Town in Las Vegas. He was super cool and really fun to be around. God bless, rest in peace. You will be missed. And you saw that, folks. He was indeed that. He was indeed super cool and fun to be around. I know you saw that in this video, and I'm honored to be and blessed to be able to present to you my little piece of the world that was Tony Todd and this amazing man who will never be forgotten, never should be forgotten. Uh, watch his movies, folks. Tony Todd, uh, gone too soon. 69 is too young. 79 is too young. 89 is too young nowadays, you know? Wow. All right. Subscribe to Zenny62, please, and bookmark San Diego Comic Con News.com. San Diego Comic Con News.com. Yeah, newest site. You haven't seen it? It's right here. San Diego Comic Con News.com. I'll show it to you real quick. There it is. Has my different Cherry Chung on the cover still. After the 10th annual Musical Anatomy of a Superhero panel press conference. Then there's, hey, look what we were just talking about. Tony Todd, science fiction or horror star at San Diego Comic-Con Fixture passes at 69. So you can watch this right here on, right there. Just go and click on more, and then you can watch the video. It's still going. Not bad, huh? All right, check it out. Remember, San Diego Comic Con News.com. We'll see you. That ends the stream.